This morning when I woke up, I wondered about the folks living outside, and I hoped that they were safe. I also wondered if the emergency cold weather shelters had opened up. Turns out they had not. Some quick background here. Multnomah, Washington, and Clackamas counties all provide emergency warming shelters during the winter when the temperatures dip near or below freezing. The idea is to create a temporary space that's warm and indoors for homeless people so that no one freezes to death. Well, over the weekend, Multnomah County did have one or more people watching the weather and the forecast, but it was a very specific forecast at a very specific time. They looked at the forecast only from the National Weather Service, and they did it Sunday morning, which at the time did not call for snow or temperatures below freezing. But later in the day, the forecast changed and did call for snow. County spokesman Dennis Thuralt told me it's difficult to open the shelters on short notice.
As someone who's an outsider, why is it difficult to open that many shelter beds on short notice?
Well, you need a few hundred folks to come out and staff, 4 to 6 sites, right? And you got to get the word out to 211. You've got to get people in charge there. You've got to get the word out to folks to know that they can come to those sites. You've got to make sure the sites are staged. You've got to roll out mats. You've got to make sure there's food service. You've got to make sure folks can get in there. You've got to let TriMet know. There's a lot of steps to do that.
Yep, I get it. But in my opinion, more should have been done last night. Every forecaster was calling for snow by early evening. Our meteorologist, Joe Ranieri, predicted 5 inches in many areas, and he was right. Yes, it is an unusual storm, historic, and much later in the season than normal. But it reveals something about the emergency shelter structure. It reveals an organization that is lumbering and slow. I find it hard to believe that after the morning check-in for the forecast, nobody thought to ring the alarm bell as it became clear in the afternoon it really was going to snow. And why aren't there people responsible for each of the locations run by the county who are able to move quickly and open the shelter on an emergency as the conditions call for it? It sounds like they're starting from scratch each time an emergency shelter is needed. Why? It should all be in place and ready to go with a single phone call. I haven't heard of any deaths from the cold, wet snow overnight, and I hope everyone made it. But make no mistake, it was dangerous out there, especially for anyone without a tent or some sort of shelter. The organization of emergency shelters needs to be able to adapt and be more nimble. Demanding 12 hours lead time to open an emergency shelter is a concept that should be trashed right now. We're living in a time of climate change, and just because we've always done something one way does not mean we should stick with it forever. Now is the time to be able to act and react quickly. Extreme weather is here to stay. That's my opinion. What's your take? Am I off the mark? Send me an email. The story at kgw.com is the address, or call and leave a message. 503-226-5090.